Hi, chat.
Things.
Rito said no sleep for the wicked.
I did not even see a countdown go, and we just went live, and they got in the game. So I went to grab a drink, and then we're in there. So we're getting out immediately. I'm gonna get these cameras up, but we got Lee Sin to kick things off, which is crazy. We never get Lee Sin on camera.
That is correct.
That's gonna be a lot of fun. So everything's gonna be coming through in just a sec.
It's Lee Sin versus your misfortune that you pulled yesterday.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Okay. Okay, Twitch is live too now. I mean, no one's here yet, but I'll explain it to him in a second. Oh, somebody's already here. Hi, Youngwon.
Here, I gotta remake this room real quick. Gotcha. This new link.
因为在极光内战里面，紫色的这些法术对战局影响是非常大的。感觉上应该极光的概率不是特别大，因为我看他这个场，应该是一个正常交互的一个场面型的盲僧。可能是一个节奏。
Getting everything together.
My Discord announcement is Rito is testing you. They started day 2 stream without any warning. Appear now or fail the test.
Yep, there you go.
So
I was told it was gonna be like half an hour later than yesterday, which is yesterday it started at 8. Which means it started 35 minutes from now, so I got hard baited.
Yeah. Hi Jaden, how you doing?
But Lee Sin versus MF is an awesome way to start the day. We'll get our bearings, we'll get going. Everything's fine. Everything's fine.
英雄牌下面那句话，今日是一场重大的考验。是的。
还行吧，先看看自己右手的第一张啊。刚刚没有看到他有没有动员之类的牌。
哦，看这一张哇。
Good morning, medic. Good morning.
感觉小胡了，这棋手。是的。
先打个号令吧。
过上来一个废料堆啊，下回合还能继续来过牌。
Yeah, Jendi, I think you're right. I would, went to run a quick errand, and I came back and I saw it had started, and I think I was told a little bit incorrectly. I was told 30 minutes later, and they started 30 minutes early. But we didn't miss any games, so that's good. We're jumping right on in. Lee Sin versus Misfortune. First round of our top cut. We'll get the breakdown. I'll get the breakdown up as soon as I can.
Hey guys.
That link work for you, by the way?
It does. I just booted up Streamlabs too quick, so it is currently holding my camera hostage.
I gotcha.
So I'm deleting all my cameras right now and all my different scenes right now so that it will be freed. I know I'm in biz, guys. I'll be there and I'll be showing in a second. My camera just only likes to show up one spot at a time for some reason.
Alright. I gotta get a tweet out, but I'm wondering how similar this Lee Sin deck is to just like the Yeelis, or where the actual the reason to play Lee Sin is in this one. Because 6-1-1 is like a very impressive scoreline, right? Like clearly this guy is doing very, very well. And I mean, normally the reason to play Lee Sin, I mean, it has some decent play into Kaisa. I've seen like versions that are playing like green Lee Sin, and they just try and like continue to ramp up against Kaisa. However, this is orange Lee Sin in the champ zone to start, so more playing around, having that accelerate, which is a little bit like poor man. It's not poor man's Lee Sin, it just Master Yi. It just does stuff a little bit differently. It doesn't out ganking.
Okay, I freed it.
我说实话，看到对面这个展开的话呀，
Okay.
雷西选手
We
应
are
该一
free.
下冒汗了。我如果
I'm
是他的
frozen.
话，已经在想怎么办了，有点糊了。
主要自己现在的一个得分的节奏也没办法去拉开，
对，而且这把因为是一个
Frozen
反胜长接嘛，所以说是一个9分局。
会更加的着急。其实
对，
现在只能是先把自己该吃的分都给吃了。
并且到这个
There you
姐
go.
这边，他
Nice.
是会打
It took a moment,
就还会暗中
but
破坏
Got you there.
破
All
坏
right, we're good.
一下
Everything's set. We missed nothing except for the early yapping. So that's a little unfortunate, but that's okay.
感觉打极光的时候，这张应该还算是一个比较好的一张牌，牌效比较高。如果
can I
说
steal a
能
link from you for my camera?
Absolutely.
Awesome, thank you.
不过猛龙摆尾这张牌，它毕竟费用比较高，所以很多盲僧他
Yeah, my understanding is some 18 points
对
got in
而且这个
yesterday,
携带
so
也数量不会
cool.
太多。
对，贴个增益上去
要抽一张牌，
3分，发挥场地的一个效果。希拉纳修道院摸一张，哦
There's mine.
上来了，
来了，
Awesome.
这感觉又还可以了。
那这个就要看女枪选手她应对
Alright,
盲
all the
僧
cards so
这边
far are like the old Master Yi
帮助
builds,
这一张
just with a lot of the like lower to the ground stuff.
也可以说去
Like Kiana, like first mate, the Poros, the Pookies, like
是的，
但我们要注意
okay, but
到
Dragon's Rage in the deck, that's what I want to see. That's what I want to see out of somebody deciding to play Lee Sin. Because that has to be like there has to be a reason to pick Lee Sin over Master Yi, and it's like if you want to play Dragon's Rage, there is a reason to pick it. If you want to try and create breakpoints with the buffs, that's a reason to pick it. And I wonder if there's any other buff payoffs, like if there's like Udyr, but Udyr's really
不过还
expensive.
是有一个单位
Sometimes it's not the
暴露
best.
在战场上面
感觉得先看一眼，我觉得先开个暗中破坏吧。
感觉极光拍下来也没问题。游戏开始，
其实都无所谓，
对吧？
就是这
确实
回合得看一眼。
对，开始玩符文战场了。
6 in a second, Kronos.
好吧。
Currently have 2 of you on my screen. Can I grab one from my camera? I don't know how to
看吗
fix
其实不
how to
看也
grab
行
my
说实话
camera.
因为流2费的话，这回合拍出来的东西，等下还可以做一个保护。怎么说？主要你现
Looks like
在
Lee,
暗中破坏
yeah, Lee Sin's really developing his board side though, so that's looking nice thus far. Misfortune definitely needs to get some characters down, but I mean with
最难受的一张
Aurora,
牌
it's gonna do it for
这
him.
张扎魂者
Uh,
因为目前的弃牌堆当中是没有单位的。
没办法，这张牌算是怎么说，就是上限很高。
这也是之前极光女枪刚开始流行的时候，其实这张牌是下3，然后慢慢过到
Yeah, I mean he's fast enough to deal with any of these Aurora decks, like try and go under things like the
有点被取代了。
对，而且
Yi
女枪是完全
flip one being
实
Soul Gorger is really, really bad for Misfortune. She needs it to be Mind Splitter like every single time when you go first.
第一个翻出来，
Or not when you go first, but like when you
从节奏上
the
来说
first
影
the
响
first
非常
pull you get from Aurora, you really want to be like Dead Bloom, Mind Splitter, something like
看
that.
要不要使用战卧桃，但是身上是有一个法盾效果。
是的，
But this guy going for that Metal Lee Sin, that is true Cardboard Nexus. The best of prizing,
节奏还蛮重要的。
coming in hot.
退一下怎么说？但则退一下要倒3个。
yeah, I'm excited to see what they actually end up looking like. I don't know if we've gotten. I know we saw the ring, but I don't know if we've gotten to see what the metal ones look like in person yet. But it'll be cool
去阻碍对方的得分
to
节
start
奏
seeing
因为
them
他
after this
场上的这个
weekend.
单位是比较多的。
Uh,
如果对方
because
想
then the
把
question comes: Do you go for it at Houston?
上来也是1分。
All right, there's your camera, Rusi. Sorry, I didn't see that.
Perfect. You're all good.
意义真不大。
对的，
I had 2 of you up to fill the
There we
space.
go. That that one.
选择推新人。
虽然说女枪这一把前期她没有跳费，而且在
哦
她自己第一张牌翻出来是一个扎魂者的情况下，但还能玩。毕竟我们都是5分才开始玩游戏。
Ooh, okay, Sunlit Guardian. So this is still, I mean, how many copies of just like low cost units is this Lee Sin running is the big question for me. And this is on the Monastery of Hirana game, so you just like can draw a ton of cards, which is really, really nice. Gonna draw even more with Clockwork. So we already have Clockwork, Poro, Pookie, which is 3 2-drops, which so maybe that's like 9 2-drops, and then First Mate, Sunlit Guardian, which are 3 drops. I don't know how many copies of either of those, but I assume it's like full suite of first mates. Maybe not with the sunlets. But that's still like 9, 12, maybe 15 like early game units that you're dropping, and then you have the Kianas. So like this is an aggressive Lee Sin deck. This is like trying to swarm and then just utilize the extra might that you get from like Lee Sin every single turn to try and like convert these smaller units. Very different take.
Yeah, it's really cool to see the list though. I mean, like so far, I'm not sure that I've personally seen too many lists that are just like running like so many of these smaller units. And so it's cool to see how it's really just like going under the Dazzling Aurora. I mean, there's one already down, but we're at 5 points, and they're gonna need only 3 more to take the win here. So let's see what card he does take out.
Yeah, he probably has to take away Dragon's Rage, but there's 2 copies. I think the Dragon's Rage is basically going to seal this. Like being able to move back the Aurora MF's cards and then not only move them back, but actually just like kill multiple of the big units with Dragon's Rage is insane, right? So you have to sabotage 1, but there's actually 2. Like this card is so backbreaking in the Aurora matchups that it does, like, to me actually make sense like why this Lee Sin is constructed in this way. I don't know how the Kaisa matchup goes for this. I actually can't imagine it's like particularly good from the cards that we've seen so far. You're just like very low to the ground and swarmy, which you're just gonna kind of die to a lot of Kaisa spells. But against any of the Aurora decks, the Yis, the MFs, like I feel like this Lee Sin deck just eats them alive.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how it does fare into Kaisa. I'm sure he had to have seen a Kaisa on his way here. Surely. You would think, but maybe he just got really lucky. Maybe he just got really lucky and he avoided 30% of the meta.
Yeah, it's possible. Or, you know, maybe there's some tech in here in the sideboarding that can kind of get through. Someone's asking where you can see deck lists. We don't have deck lists. There is like if you have an account on like WeChat and and access to some of the like Chinese communities, you can try and find stuff, but it's very difficult to find them early on. Some people will try and post like winning deck lists as we go, but Mind Splitter being able to take out the Dragon's Rage is massive.
Yeah. Luckily, he does have that second copy, like you said, but 1's already down, and he's got to get still 3 full more points and the winning point to seal the deal here. So he probably wishes he had it in hand right now instead of in his discard pile. Oh, he doesn't have a second in hand. I don't know why I thought he had a second in hand.
那他现在其实是已经被回收1张，然后丢了1张的情况下，像前面 DC 老师也有提到过，正常的盲僧构筑目前并不会去给他下满，所以我觉得很大概率。
The fact we already have so many splitters in Riftbound is astounding in set 1. I just want to state that. But
yeah, Sky Splitter and Mind Splitter. It's too
yeah,
much.
like what is this? I mean, I would understand it like 3-4 sets in, but set 1, I would have thought we'd have a little more variation. What is the other card behind Mind Splitter? I'm trying to.
That's the Soul Gorger.
So we have, what is that? 13, 12 might at the top battlefield. And I guess like that's when you start seeing these like small units that were really nice to get down, but now it might be more difficult to get the might they need to take back Battlefield 1 and then the Misfortune. I don't know, I can never bring up her cards.
MF Captain, the orange one. Yeah. I mean, I feel like there's enough might here. He's just calculating because he's got this orange Lee Sin, which can get +2 to anything that has a buff, and he still has a Pit Rookie in hand. So he's gonna be able to like
That is nice. I didn't realize it was +2. I haven't looked at Lee Sin too much. I just knew that he like gave buffs as his like leader thing.
Yeah, he gives buffs.
But
With
then
the chosen champion is given the +2 to all these units.
It's very cool. Yeah, I mean Misfortune. Then we're already at like. I guess it's a 5 for the right hand, and Misfortune's only a 5. Second unit is there to be able to knock it out. It's going to take the battlefield, and now I need to make 13 for the top one. Kiana's 6 then.
So it's +1 from the Lee Sin Legend, and then the Lee Sin Champion that they've got gives an additional +2 to any buffed unit that's at the same battlefield as it.
Oh, so it's like actually like a +3 buff. Then.
Yeah, so the buffs are like essentially +3 when the Lee Sin chosen champion, the orange Lee Sin centered, is like there with them. So basically this like big push can come through where there's currently 4 might on the Sunlit Guardian, there's 5 on the Kiana, but if you push in the Lee Sin with it, the Lee Sin is 6 himself, which make it like
6 and a 7, so 13 themselves.
Yeah, basically. Well, no, it'd be even more than that. Or no, that's exactly right. Yeah, 6 and 7. Yeah, it'd be 6 and 7.
Okay. Maybe pushing the baby up top as well. That would give it another 4.
Yeah.
I think he's a 1. So they definitely have the might then. That's actually a crazy ability on the Lee Sin, it seems like. But they are just gonna let it sit for the turn.
Yeah, this kind of makes sense to me, right? Because like, you're just trying to play for point tempo. Wait, actually, this is aspirants, I think, right? That's the world's.
Oh, is that aspirants?
It's the world's promo. So I'm trying to remember if this one is the aspirants or if this is something else. If it's aspirants, I almost like trying to take this already, go to 7 and set things up. But I think I can understand just like trying to slow burn it before you go for the double conquer. See if you can build an even bigger board. Just to answer the question, not familiar with competitive TCG's time limit per turn. There's not a time limit per turn, but there's a time limit for the like entire round. The round that you're playing is usually timed. However, we are in the top 128, so it is now untimed rounds. So
it does appear to be aspirants. I just brought up the promos.
Okay, cool. So this is playing to 9 with this battlefield.
Yeah, does Riftbound? So I know in Pokemon, they technically, very loosely, have like a rule where you're only supposed to take like 20 to 30 seconds per action. But I don't know if it's hard coded in the rules.
But the thing with like actions, like you're expected to play at a reasonable pace. So if you're taking a long time, your opponent can call a judge and say, hey, I think they're slow playing, and then the judge will warn you and watch you and make sure that you're playing at a good enough speed.
Okay, so there's no like definition for like reasonable pace in Riftbound then, I guess?
I don't think so. I don't think there's a hard-coded definition.
Yeah, technically Pokemon has one, but we don't keep up with it. Let's put it that way. We don't really follow it. But
yeah, I'm looking for the graphic for the percent for Top Cut, but it was posted above in chat by Jendi, which was that there's 56 Kaisas, 37 Ys, 9 Victor, 7 Set, 6 Teemo, 5 Misfortune, 3 Annie, 2 Darius, and then 1 Yasuo, Ari Lee, and one Yasuo, Ari, and Lee. I'll see if I can get a graphic. I know that usually there's one posted. Usually we get it like after the first round on day 2 that we'll end up seeing it. So I'll have my eyes out and see if I can find it. Okay. Decides to just gust back this Poro, trying to buy some space. It's starting to look like Misfortune has been able to turn the corner a little bit. The Mind Splitter's coming up huge. I was talking about how good the Dragon's Rage is in these Aurora matchups, but both of them got taken away. One was Sabotage, the other was Mind Splittered. So like Lee Sin's signature spell, which is usually really good in these spots where you get to move one of these units away, make them kind of run into each other and kill each other. And then it's the fact that they're both taken away instead, that's like the main tool that this Lee Sin deck kind of has for this matchup. And now I see in the hand there's a block, which is only good defensively, and that right now, you know, there's no control of the battlefield. And then Charm, which you could use Charm to be a little tricky and score some points, but because we're on Aspirants and Lee Sin is only at 6, not 7, you can't just like use the Charm and then try and rush through for the two like winning Conquers. He has to find 1 point and then be able to kind of push forward for that last like double Conquer to win the game.
Yeah, I feel like that Aspirants is really putting a little bit of a damper on the Lee Sin's game plan. And even then, as you said, taking out both of those Dragon's Rage is, I wouldn't say Seal's Dilks are obviously at 6 points, but it definitely is an uphill battle here for the Lee Sin, even though he was so far in the lead. Yeah, I mean, 48 Kaisa though is kind of crazy. It's like, not 48, was it 56 or something like that? It's like a 43% in top cut. So good job for Kaisa once again.
Yeah.
The leading lady of Riftbound.
So this is a pretty big blowout from this Rebuke, trying to send in the Lee Sin and actually push enough damage through the Mind Splitter, but Rebuke just gonna ship Lee Sin back to the hand, end up getting a free trade from the Mind Splitter, continuing to whittle away at this Lee Sin board while continuing to beef up their own with the Aurora, and it feels like Aspirants end up making a pretty big difference. Even though, yes, we see that the Lee Sin is stuck on 6 points, there were some opportunities to potentially try and shove everything in to score 2 points. However, it would have cost him everything, and he wouldn't have been able to possibly win the game from that spot if he needs to go to 9. So getting to 8 was definitely possible on some of these earlier turns, but it would have come at the expense of not being able to score that final winning point. And so he was trying to save, trying to set up a better turn, and ends up being maybe even a little too patient, or at least it's just maybe not even possible for him to find a good opening, because now a Mind Splitter comes off the top of the Aurora, the rebuked Lee Sin just gets to get taken away, and now there are no big threats remaining. And I think Lee Sin is probably a little cooked at this point with the Aurora. However, I think there's some promising aspects of this deck in the matchup, so I would not count this Lee Sin deck out against the Aurora. I actually feel like it's very possible he's even favored, considering how many low drops he had and just how powerful Dragon's Rage can actually be if they don't both get eaten up by Mind Splitters and Sabotages.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how he does in game 2. Would love to definitely see him come back, because he had such a strong early start, and it really felt like that Mind Splitter Sabotage turn really swung it. And now we're even seeing that Lee Sin get put into a discard pile, so hopefully there's some answer here, but I'm really hopeful for game 2. And it's a really interesting list. I'd love to try this now that we actually have physical cards.
需要一张叹为观止。怎么说？找那个隔壁大哥借一张，对吧？有没有好心人？
好心人借我一张，或者赢点好。
I mean, Lee Sin hasn't decided to scoop yet, so maybe he has a game plan here to bring it back.
Nice. Okay, Jendi has done all the stats for the weekend. I'm gonna grab their spreadsheet. Last time it was super nice. Hendy, right? Not Jendi. J Hendy.
对方这个下面都已经是有12点。我觉得他得魅惑先把披星玄龙拉过去，然后自己再用盲僧的头给场下的一个小单位上一个增益，这样。
Thanks for doing this again. I'm gonna pop this in, and we can talk about it after this game.
西亚纳出动了呀。
但这样子很容易吃战桃啊。
You're bringing Kiana in versus a Karthus.
对，毕竟你没有被换掉任何的质
I
量
think。that's the correct way
但
to
如
say
果这里
that
要去进行进攻的话，
champion's name.
直接
But it does look like we're gonna go on and
老盲僧已经在想下一把怎么打了。
是的。
are we cleaning up board or am I wrong on that?
It looks
Yeah,
like
I
he
think we're
scooped it up.
cleaning up the
Yeah.
board. So we are gonna be going to game 2 here.
就很多时候有就第一把，其实这
I
把
think
感觉盲僧
it
也没
seemed
办法
like
就单纯就
the
是
Lee Sin had a
上
pretty, strong start.
没办法不如
I'm interested to see if he has anything in his sideboard that he's gonna like put in that he thinks might like change the matchup. But I feel like we didn't have like the mind splitters come down at the time they did. We probably would have been in a lot better spot regardless.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's possible he's got like sabotages in the sideboard, but already his main board is pretty good into Aurora, it feels like. There is like definitely room for even stronger cards, but like even stronger cards in the matchup in trying to actually prevent the Aurora from ever coming down with the sabotage. But the Dragon Rages definitely seem strong, and it's just a matter of yeah, actually being able to hold them in your hand or draw them after the sabotage. It's always the thing that's like a struggle when playing against MF Aurora. Is like you put the answers in your deck, and then sometimes they just get mind splittered away on that first slam of the Aurora, and it feels real bad when that happens. So
Feels real bad.
you still have to like play the cards that are good, and you just have to hope that that doesn't happen, and you can actually have a chance to
导致说每次推怪上
win with it.
方法
Let me take a look at
要么
these.
回到自己的一个基地，就每次进攻都很难成功，而且就是你得因为自己的怪身材都比较小嘛，所以说都是联合进攻，然后联合进攻就是有人回去了，剩下哥们儿就被卖了。
All right, let me pop this conversion rate on stream. I know this is just like a
反正这
just like a natty little spreadsheet in there, but this is a handy.
就很尴尬。
Was able to make this really nice handy spreadsheet. So as you can see the conversion rates, it's about 10% of the
你又不能全军出击，是的，你全军出击的话，
10% of the Kaises were able to make it through to day 2. Master Yi about 7%. Victor actually having a much better conversion rate than it's had historically. And I say much better, but that's just kind of
旁才能感觉可能
it was like a 3%, and now it's like a nearly 5%. So I guess what much better is not like that much. But also, you know, the Timos, the set, the Darius actually showing up pretty decently with low numbers, having 2 of them actually convert. So we'll have our eyes out. We're getting to see the Lee Sin right now, but I really am going to want to see some of these other rogue decks. I'm hoping that they'll make it past this first round, and we might be able to see a little bit of that, because generally, like, they're going to try and grab the rogue decks before they get eliminated, and they grab the Lee Sin for this one because Lee Sin has been so rare. But there's a chance we lose like a lot of these Dariuses or the Timos or the Yasuo or Ari or any of those other decks before we get a chance to see them.
在英雄区的手牌上
Yeah, I hope we get to see the Yasuo. I really liked watching it yesterday. I'm inspired to try to make a Yasuo deck for like the weeklies in person. So we'll see what else we get from some of these rogue decks. Either way, one of the less common decks is going to continue. I mean, I guess Misfortune's a Dazzling Aurora list, but it's a Misfortune list too, which you don't see as often.
非常难打，对，他本身进攻速度不是很
Yeah,
快。
I think Ari was a deck that I thought was going to do a lot better. I see someone in chat saying the conversion rate. Oof. I mean, yeah, for sure. Like, this is a deck I felt like was like a little underrepresented, and yet it's like one of the worst performing decks on the day. There was 4% of the field, and only a single person made it through, giving it a 1% conversion rate, which out of any deck that actually converted, because a few decks did not even convert, it is the worst. It is the worst conversion rate of any deck that actually was able to make it to day 2. So
从头打到尾。
Ari
So painful.
certainly underperforming at this event. I think Annie underperforming a little bit as well, even though that was, you know, not that many copies, only 62 copies, but only 3 made it through. I think this is another deck we kind of had some high hopes for. But still a pretty widespread on the last day, and it's just... I think the conversion rate spread is the thing that I really like to look at as well. Is like... There's nothing that has like a, you know, 13 to 15% conversion rate that we had seen previously.
Which is kind of nice. It's kind of sad that the volleyball we watched yesterday does not make it into day 2, obviously, since it's 0% conversion rate. Looks like we are going to be having Dreaming Tree on the side of our Lee Sin, which is pretty nice. And then I think the other one, I'm so bad.
Obelisk of Power. It's the +1 rune.
There's like 3 different blue guys on the battlefields, so I gotta look them up sometimes. But +1 rune at the start or for holding is for it's
start.
for the start. Yeah, so I was thinking. So starting with 3, starting with 4, we'll see what they play on their turn 1s. It'd be interesting to see.
没看着女枪玩家手牌啊，很急。
Starting with Sabotage?
Okay, double inverted timelines. I mean, some of this is going to have to get shipped back. You can keep an inverted timelines reasonably enough. Keep the sabotage. I mean, we saw how impactful taking the Dragon's Rage was last time, so if he can take the Dragon's Rage again, set up for the Aurora, try and stop any of the hate cards from dealing with the Aurora. Even sabotaging the opponent's sabotage to protect your Aurora is a viable strategy.
Yeah. Can you actually get Aurora with sabotage out of hand?
Yeah, you can take Aurora. It's anything that's not a unit.
Oh. For some reason I thought it was specifically spells, but I'm sure it's because most of the time I've used it, I only see spells. But we do get our 1 drop. I'm gonna go on and pass here. Looks like oh god, the obelisk came in handy here. Having to use all 3 to get our first unit down. But I mean, we do have the mana, the energy for Kiana now. I wonder if we're gonna see it this early.
那也没招，不过自己这一次是一个后4，只能说先，但这个又是个8分场，所以很微妙。
顶个增益，顶个增益可以防罡风。
嗯。
只能通过了。是的。
Right, Sunlit Guardian just gonna move in to the Dreaming Tree.
Already buffed from the Lee Sin, which is super nice. And we are gonna see Kiana come on and come into play here. We're going up to 7, I think. Energy for the Misfortune.
Okay. So still no Aurora, but does end up finding a Catalyst. So gonna be able to ramp up towards the potential top deck of Aurora. And still having a decent amount of time. I mean, the Kiana is going to be able to get a lot of pressure by being able to generate either runes or cards for the Lee Sin to try and be able to close out this game afterwards. But the Aurora is in hand now. Okay, so there actually is Aurora plus the ramp has come through. And as you were saying, this is 7 runes. It looks like we have 8 runes now after the ramp. So Aurora is going to happen next turn. And the question is are there answers in this deck from Lee Sin? Going to be able to get an extra draw with Kiana if he wants it to try and dig towards that extra draw. And then you have to dodge the Mind Splitter on the first Aurora trigger if you have an answer. Not seeing an immediate answer in hand. Just a lot of these low drops once again, which don't do a ton in the face of the massive units of Aurora. But you can swarm enough and get value out of Orange Lee Sin to kind of make it happen anyways.
Yeah, I'm sure he's trying to figure out exactly what he can do to try to negate the Aurora potentially. I mean, Kiana taking a battlefield here would let him draw a card, so maybe he could try to draw into something that could help him check the hand for Aurora. He has 6 mana. He's going to do the draw, but it looks like he only gets Zonias off the top of the draw, which is a nice card to have, but I don't think the card he would like to be getting here. And it looks like we're going for right hand, which will let him take Kiana back to the battlefield and protect it from any of the units that come down this next turn.
First mate running everything home. You have to play around the Dead Bloom because you know that this is the Aurora turn coming up. Not having any of the immediate answers. Last game had the double Dragon Rage, and one got sabotaged, one got Mind Splittered. Max, as you said, Dragon Rage is important. I think Dragon Rage looks so sick in this matchup. Unfortunately, MF said you're not allowed to have any and took both of them out of the hand last time. So have to draw it at the right time, dodge out the Mind Splitters, dodge the sabotages. Got to get a little bit lucky on when you find it.
He was like, no Dragon Rages, and I'll take the Lee Sin as well. Did he find the Aurora last turn?
Yeah, he's got the Aurora in hand.
Okay. Oof. I remember I didn't think he'd had it, but it makes sense. So he is going to be able to go on and play it, sadly. I don't think he can do much else here. I mean, maybe he could, like, I guess Sabotage is like a one-mana thing, but looks like we're going to go in and pass and see that Aurora come down. Ooh, is that Volibear?
Yep, Volibear coming down first. It's a big hit to start things off. Can look for potential card draw. This is the time when you actually would have wanted to see the Mind Splitter because your hand is reasonable enough to lose something. But just going to have to try and score as much as possible. Not able to set up the breakpoints just yet to go to 6. Going to be able to push to 5. Get another draw off Kiana and just try and push from there. I mean, getting another draw off Kiana, maybe playing out the Lee Sin, just getting some value on the board.
We do have a second Lee Sin this turn, or this game, which is nice in the case he gets taken out of his hand by a Mind Splitter or something, because we still have the one in our chosen champion slot. But he's just checking out Volibear and trying to figure out what he can do to try to stop it before it does a lot of the work Volibear is going to try to do. We are going to get a draw off Kiana probably this turn, so we can dig a little bit deeper into our main deck. But max for going here is to 5, and that Volibear is gigantic.
就你打极光的情况下，现在第二局进行了将近小一半了，也才30多分钟。
So pushing in just the Sunlit Guardian to start. Wow, okay. Considering going for a hold into this Volibear, charming him in because he's tapped out. I think this makes a lot of sense. Okay, so the Sunlit Guardian has tank. So you can't actually kill the Lee Sin. So this is a good way that you get to deal with this Volibear, you deal with the threat. You protect your Lee Sin so it can still be powerful later. It does need to dodge a Dead Bloom once again. This is just gonna be you're gonna have to hope that you don't get hit with the Dead Bloom off the Aurora from the top. But there is an on guard to allow them to trade. So I guess it's not the end of the world if it happens. If the Dead Bloom comes down, you still get to trade the Lee Sin with it. This is really well piloted sequence of turns from our Lee Sin player, and I like he's considering hiding the Zhonya's Hourglass. Because he wants to still be able to even have the Lee Sin come back, even if he does win or tie against the Dead Bloom by playing out the On Guard. So just going to go with the Zhonya's Hourglass, pass it up. And the thing with this, though, is when you have one energy up and you don't utilize the Lee Sin Legend ability, I think your opponent knows what's up, right? Is going to be pretty aware that there is very likely going to be an on guard waiting for them. And just going to have to recognize if they can play around that, or if they have the Dead Bloom, is that's just going to have to run into the Lee Sin anyway. But this is, once again, a very good start from Lee Sin. And this time it feels like they can maybe get away. They can maybe get away with it, right? They can maybe get away without getting blown out by the Mind Splitters coming off the top. The Sabotage is pretty good once again, though. You're able to just take away the On Guard if you want, so that the Lee Sin will trade down into a Dead Bloom if it gets pulled off the top.
Yeah, sadly, they are going to take that On Guard. But we do have Zhonya's to save the Lee Sin, even if he gets knocked out by... Ooh, what did we hit? Why not Defy? I mean, Defy would still like lose him the thing there. They take the On Guard, but he can't play the On Guard this turn if he uses Defy. Would be like, I would think the reason why you wouldn't use Defy there. Because either way, you're losing a card, and you're not going to be able to save the Lee Sin. Or trade, sorry, into the like a Dead Bloom.
Yep, this is top 128. Top 128 going towards top 64.
They did decide to take the Dead Bloom into the Kiana, though, instead of the Lee Sin. We're still able to pop, obviously, the Zhonya since it is a gear, and it brings it back to base, but He also has a second, I think, a big unit in his base as well. You only need 8 here, though.
Yeah, I mean, this is a tapped out misfortune. This is just the puzzle of, do you have a way to try and go for the double conquers here?
Yeah, if we can get a double, or if we can conquer the other.
Or did he score from 5 to 6 here already on the hold? He did, right? Okay,
I
so
think he scored 5 or 6. Yeah.
yeah, he can only go to 7. And then has to try and set up with either trying to win with holding, or he has to look for the double conquer on the following turn. So it's possible that you don't even do anything and you actually just move the Lee Sin home. The scary thing is that this is a Volibear and then a double reinforcement from the 2 Auroras, which is going to be very difficult to try and crack through at the end.
Yeah, I don't know that I would want to like crack through it. So, like maybe trying to like double hold with the idea that you only have to hold one of the 2. May be good. We do have to basically hammer our way through this dead bloom if so. So Hourglass doesn't only affect battlefield because it's a gear and gears don't stay at your battlefield. So when you flip the Hourglass, it immediately goes to your base. So then when your other guy dies, it still gets affected by the Hourglass. That's just how gears work. Gears can't have gears can't be at a battlefield.
Yep. And I know that's kind of confusing because what you are saying is true about, like, the chatter is saying is like true about most hidden. Like when it's hidden at a location, it does gain here as a targeting effect. But Zhonya's doesn't target. It's just a gear that comes out onto the board, as Ursi's saying. So it just kind of goes home after you reveal it, and then it'll save anything. So hidden as far as targeting gets here, but Zhonya's Hourglass, not a targeting thing.
Yeah. We are going to go on and discipline the Lee Sin first, which allows us to draw off the Dreaming Tree. We still have about 4 mana here, so we could make a couple different plays. Lee Sin is up to what I think he's a 6, so it goes to 8, and he is getting buffed. So does he buff his buff as well?
I don't think he affects himself. I'm going to check real quick to make sure I'm right. Yeah, other buffed friendly units at my battlefield have +2. Says other, so he does not give himself that additional +2.
Okay. Well, he does go in retreat. We see a right hand come down, which will ready him back up. And it looks like he's going to go in and knock out the dead bloom on the other battlefield, on the Obelisk of Power.
Just to clarify for the people in chat still confused about hidden stuff, so a hidden fight or flight could be triggered on a battlefield other than the you can trigger it if there's a combat happening on the other battlefield, but you can't target something that's not on the battlefield that it's hidden at, right? If there's a targeting component of your hidden card, it must target something at the battlefield it is hidden at. So that is the, like, what was being said above about it being hidden on a battlefield. So like hidden draw 2 you can use if someone is having action in another battlefield, but it would have to target something at the battlefield that hidden blade was drawn at, or was
if there's a trigger, or not trigger, if there's a target.
Yep. And if there's no target, like the 4-cost consult the past, which is maybe what you're talking about, the hidden draw 2, the other hidden draw 2 effect, you could absolutely cast that at any reaction timing. It doesn't matter if it's like something happening at the location that it's at. Really, the one that just causes the confusion is Zhonya's. It causes the most confusion for people. But yeah, when Zhonya's is revealed, it just goes back to base and is a gear as any other gear would be.
And Zhonya's also just like doesn't target. It's just like the next thing to die.
Yep. Next thing to die.
So.
All right. Lee's able to get to 7 points. It's just the Volibear and the 2 Auroras up. So there is potential for Lee Sin to attempt to just like try and hold both sides and then hopefully hold one and win. I'm curious what the like angle is going to be. It looks like that's kind of what he's doing. He's basically hedging and saying, hey, like if your Volibear is the only thing that gets to swing in, I will be able to hold with Lee Sin. or hold with one of the two locations. But if there's more coming down, he's still potentially able to try and mount an offense afterwards.
是的，其实聚首的话是有一点机会。
我觉得聚首还是挺有机会的，因为你看他上去了以后。
He had already scored the top battlefield this turn by holding, so he just moved the Lee Sin away, and now he's moved something into a location he's already scored.
对，主要现在有个问题
Yeah.
是手里没费了，就是你也怕对方什么一个折退，给你盲僧退回去了。
但这样子的话，你等待下一波的往前进攻的机会有点难找哦。
越等
Yeah, we're putting 2 units into that top battlefield. I mean, it is.
枪的进攻。
是的，
I guess
对
the
方随便有个
the
东西
Poro
就
has
直接全换掉
shield,
漏了一张，甚至觉得
right? Not tank.
先
Yep.
熊大先推上去。
Yeah, it's shield
it's
not
like-
tank, so I'm a little confused by this because the Volibear can just kind of eat this all up. But I guess that the idea is that if the Volibear goes there, there's actually no way to beat the Lee Sin with like a Dead Bloom because I think that's a block hidden there. So Lee Sin is at 7 and it'll go up to 10. So Dead Bloom's not going to be able to deal with that.
非常多啊。
The Volibear would be able to tie with this Lee Sin and trade.
还是
But Dead Bloom would win on the top side. That's why I'm wondering if Kiana should have gone to that top side as well if you're going to try and reinforce, because that's only 6 might. So what it will beat is it will beat Accelerated Misfortune, but it won't beat Dead Bloom. So I guess that's the range that our Lee Sin player is willing to play around. He's willing to play around the Accelerated Misfortune from the Champion Zone, but not willing to play around Dead Bloom Predator coming off the top from the
这里可以把王
the Aurora, and we are going to just see a Soul Gorger get hard cast from hand.
右边吧。
And I believe there's a Dead Bloom that is going to be able to get grabbed off of this Soul Gorger, and we did see those 2 power costs get played, and that is just going to be able to eat everything up, and that's, I mean, that's the struggle there. That's why maybe the Kiana had to go if he wanted to play defense.
摸一张，
It's tough to find that range, and now this is just going to get reinforced
很多的后补。
with a Mind Splitter.
女乔剑优
The
势
Rune Prison going to get taken away,
光了。
leaving only a Defy, and Lee Sin got so close
现在把你符文进攻
every time
Yeah.
and has not been able to push over the edge. But I would not say it's necessarily
这里就
over yet. There is potential that Dragon's Rage can maybe make something happen off the top.
场打下来，下一回可能会输嘛，所以说必须得打上去。
I'm actually wondering
Also,
if it
we
even
just-
can, though. I don't know if Dragon's Rage actually can get there now. This is
守护者上去
going to be very tough to try and break through.
这里要给盲僧讲故事的话，要讲什么故事？
OK，
好像
先不看，眯一下。
一张牌好像没有牌能够救到他了。
Did he
但
drop
最
it?
想你觉得
Okay,
最想要
he's
什么？巴巴龙。
trying to see if he like drew for turn there or
好
not.
像摆尾这
Um,
个也不解渴。
好像摆不太动。
对啊，摆不动啊。
快点导播亏一下。
I mean, we obviously can get the other battlefield. There's nothing in it, so we will be able to go in and draw. It's just
很难受。
how do you hold versus
是谁？
probably we're not breaking the other battlefield. Is just my guess, but maybe we really need to.
我感觉他是想先上去抽一张。
Okay, he did. For some reason, I thought he still only had 1 card in hand.
还有一
Yeah, yeah. He was only able to draw
去了
a single. Oh, wait, I thought he got
西亚纳上去了，
盲僧
两张。
职业
he got splittered for the
哇，
两
the
He
last
got
card he
splittered
had in
for the
hand. Yeah.
Defy.
Yeah.
But he also had a Rune Prison in hand.
Oh, right. Okay.
那能多给我点加战力
So
加攻击力。
那全上了呀，
All right.
全上了呀。
Maybe just gonna attempt to hold at this
这
point,
是我最后的一个
saying that this is the last chance. I
会
mean,
在天了，兄弟们。
yeah, MF is feasibly only gonna be able to gank one thing over.
给大副呗，这争议。
确实。
Actually, that's not entirely true because there is MF Captain in the Champion Zone. And so if you accelerate her, you can kind of pseudo gank an additional unit. Because when you move her, you can ready a unit. So you could give ganking to like Dead Bloom, and then move a Mind Splitter home, accelerate Misfortune, move her somewhere, and then ready that Mind Splitter to be able to move as well. So there's a couple ways. And oh, the bullet time off the top.
但是手里是有张卡。
That's probably just going to seal the deal, unless there was a Defy still left that was grabbed after one was taken away. If he got a new Defy
He had
here,
Defy
he
in
does.
hand.
He does have a new Defy, so that would be able to stop.
这样的话不吃康。
That would be able to stop this from happening. I don't know if it's going to be enough, though, because the Gentleman's Duel is going to just take out the Lee Sin.
王华是11，
even though there is a defy to deal with the bullet time, I think there's just gonna be too much might.
4、5、7、
是
We didn't use the defy though.
好可以
Well, he couldn't defy Gentleman's Duel because that's a 6 cost. He can defy the
Oh,
bullet
oh,
time
yeah.
that's in hand.
对对对，
That would
Yeah.
just wipe the entire board.
因为还留了一费嘛，对吧？
But I
So
still
right now
don't
I'm
think
just
that's gonna
assuming
deal
that
with
was
this.
full.
那特别稳了这一手。
而且现在战斗完之后，这个血量回满。
这样的话
All right,
已经
that's
结
it.
束了。
That's gonna be a
Sad.
2-0.
恭喜 OZ
Our Lee Sin, end of the road for him in top 128. Though, because he was the only Lee Sin to make day 2, I'm pretty sure that locks him up
雷西选手
as the best of Lee Sin winner. So he will be going home with that medal Lee Sin card. So gotta be feeling good about that, even though his tournament run is cut a little bit short here in the round of 128.
虽败犹荣。
是的，感觉
Yeah,
这
tragic
场
end,
他
but
也
I'm
没
sure
有
he's happy to be the
太多
best Lee
操作上的
Sin
问题
是
主要
of
还
all
是
the
这
Lee
个卡组的
Sins,
克制关系
maybe.
想办法。
你说让我
是的
复盘，我也
I'm sure he's very
没有考虑，
unhappy to
因为我觉得两
lose
边
here.
其实都没有失误的。
Yeah,
So close,
it's
though,
weird because this
too.
matchup looked like he has a lot of tools to deal with it, but he could not get over the hurdle that is Mind Splitter. And if you can't get over Mind Splitter, then maybe the matchup's not actually that good, because that's like the main thing that Aurora MF does to you. She Mind Splitters you and she takes a lot of your tools. So
那么他
needing things to line up a little bit better, was never able to have multiple avenues to push over the top. It was always like Dragon Rage and Bust here, or needing specifically the Lee Sin to stick with more buffs and not having just quite enough might to push through. But still a really impressive performance, bringing Lee Sin, making top 128, going 6-1-1 in the initial Swiss rounds. I mean, absolutely crazy performance.